Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play that meets on Tuesday nights. Last time we got together, the party was divided between Stormreef Isle, training the soldiers that were formerly following Tatsuya in a bid to defeat the dragons, and then their mother, their goddess, Tiamat, now being repurposed by the party to defeat the dragons and keep Tiamat sealed within Avernus. And the rest of the party was at the university, the Arcane University of the Marble City, learning how to make, refine, and stabilize their nitroglycerin into dynamite. And having done that, and Laramendus having time to catch up with the Dean of Abjuration, they complete their tasks and are ready to head back to the island. So, we will pick up on Stormreef Isle. Here, the army has been broken up into several sections, training with each of the new lieutenants, and General Yukikaze himself, who is teaching them survival in the rough tundra. Cyrus and Cyrus are transformed into full-on adult dragons, and menacing the soldiers as they run through their drills, as they practice climbing this mountain face. There's lots of fire everywhere. Simulacrum Laramendus is training people to cast spells in the cold, trying to give them these basics, these fundamentals that they had not the time at the university to learn. Meanwhile, Leah has taken a group of her own, is training them in street urchin urban navigation, while at the same time telling them about her patron, Zentharamil, and recruiting some of them to his cause, while at the same time again recruiting new members to the Black Rose and increasing her spy network, taking notes and samples of people so that she can scry on them later. And Raiken is teaching people the fundamentals of fighting, especially fighting unconventionally and without a weapon, and insult fighting, and one-liners, and the importance thereof. So
it throws the other ones off balance. Like it's important. Like, people pause for just that moment when you say a thing like that, and that's when you strike.
There's going to be an army of Raikens making bad puns, and right behind them there will be a line of Black Rose rolling their eyes.
So, as the two dragons are swooping and soaring and diving and breathing gouts of flame at the soldiers who are, trying to survive, trying to climb this mountain, trying to train, and also trying to retaliate. In some cases, you see arrows and cantrips flying up and bouncing off or missing the dragons entirely. Suddenly, one of the gold dragons, Cyrus, poofs into a giant piñata, which explodes and rains down actual candy over the land. Everyone beneath him incredibly confused. But several people, being younger and thinking maybe this is part of the training, begin grabbing the candy. And it is at this time that Cyrus will teleport Laramendus and Jebel and Vendar back. So you appear in a snowy field that is dotted with candies all around you, and a bunch of soldiers looking up and down confused, some of them grabbing the candy, a bunch of people training and shouting insults at each other right nearby. You catch a glimpse of Simularamendus instructing somebody on the proper way to hold themselves as they attempt to cast the Firebolt cantrip. It's an organized chaos as you appear. Except for right next to you where Raiken is teaching people, because he is actually sparring with one of them, so he's not really controlling the group. That's just chaos. Also, they're shouting insults at each other.
It's organized
always
chaos, except for
Raiken.
Raiken, where it's just chaos. There's no
Exactly.
organization. Excellent. I think Lermantis is going to look around. And then probably walk over to himself.
I think I might actually be able to pull that off. Let me check. If I go down to Hero Forge, I might be able to pull a second air quotes, non-unique. That's why it's weird to me, because I believe it's non-unique. Yep, it is. So now we have Laramentis and Laramentis. So you walk up to the simulacrum of yourself. A bunch of the students around him were paying very close attention, nodding along with the lesson and correcting their own stances. Kind of look over, really bewildered. You're wearing different clothing, but it's very clear that you are the same person. And so they're just watching you approach, mouths agape. And as you get up to him, he's going to have been, had his hands on the student, trying to get their body into the right pose for the spellcasting. He'll turn and say, you're back.
I hope everything has been going well here. He looks at Simulacrum, Laramentis, and the people that are being taught. He's also paying attention to who, dropped their concentration and, focus on spellcasting when a second of him walked over, because he needs to have a conversation with them.
Yeah, you see, spells fizzle in hands. He looks over the group once very quickly and says, everyone is putting forth their best effort and making progress. Some students are advancing quicker than others. All of them have need of deeper drilling on the fundamentals of everything about commanding the weave.
Laramentis will just nod.
I believe that they had perhaps a few weeks training at the university, but not more than that.
Well, at least now there's two of us.
Indeed. What shall we do?
I think the actual Laramentis will point out the ones who did lose their concentration when he walked up, and split them off and be working with them.
Okay.
And have Simulacrum Laramentis continue doing what he's doing.
Very good.
So the actual interaction is going to be very much the same as what Simulacrum Laramentis is doing, and it's going to be probably a little more in depth just because he's not a simulacrum and he can, learn. But they're hiding. He's hoping the teacher wouldn't notice him.
It was working. That's bad for the teacher. Okay.
But so there's two teachers.
So Laramentis wanders off. Vendar, you appear in this field of snow and candy, and there is a chaos of people learning lots of different skills all around you. Some of them seem to have been vaguely aware that you appeared out of nowhere.
Hey, I will grab some of the candy and I will go back to the inn.
I suppose Simulacrum Cyrus would have come with Laramentis?
Probably.
For the TNT, I needed to boil animal fat. That was how they got the gallo.
Yes.
Glucose or whatever it was.
The glycerin, yes.
That's it. Third time's the charm.
Yes, it is animal fat that boils down into glycerin.
Okay. I want to ask the innkeeper if...
And then you get to nitrogenate it. So, are you going to go hunting, or are you going to, ask for, bits of animal from the kitchen?
I want to know if they have any animal fat that I could purchase. Also, if they have, pots that I could... Or, cauldrons that I could boil in it.
I believe that the answer to both of those questions would be yes for the right price. So you
I will say Vendar would know that in terms of like equipment, the mansion, which will exist for another like 20 hours or something,
All
or
right.
like maybe 15 at this point, uh, probably has you covered for like like you need a
Alright, so I
pot, you
just need
need
the
all
fat
this
So
random
you
stuff,
just
but
need the
like
materials that he wants to actually boil.
Should we roll to see if everyone saw Cyrus poof?
I think that just given how... if you want to roll, you can, but I believe that you would just notice.
Okay.
It was a big dragon roaring and breathing fire, and all of a sudden, like, an arrow hit it, and it turned into a piñata, like a flying paper donkey that was, like, 20 feet on a side. And then it exploded violently and rained candy over the place. I feel like
the fire breath that was coming out too just like immediately turned into candy.
it's like ribbons of licorice.
And then there was just the reverberation of
But okay,
So-
yeah, cheering kids. Yay!
Is anyone in my group alarmed?
Oh yeah. I mean, some of them are like looking at the candy that has rained down over them, and they're like, "Is this part of the training?"
It exploded that far out.
Yeah, it like rained over the whole area. It was big. It sent candy scattering over everywhere here.
So I will just like everyone, please calm down. This is nothing. I shouldn't say it's nothing.
Or
Please don't gaslight them.
no need.
I'm not. So, it's not that it's nothing. It's more in the sense that there's some magics involved. That is nothing to be concerned. I would like you to please continue with what I've already taught you. To do some practicing and discuss with each other. I will be back shortly. I have to go see the other lieutenants and make sure everyone is taken care of. The candy is part of a magic's. I don't know if it'd be wise to consume it. I would just leave it, please.
They all look extremely concerned, but they nod and continue, like, practicing making a shelter.
One of them spits out a piece of candy.
He just, nah, and it rolls off their tongue.
So I will begin to proceed to the group that was directly working with Cyrus's dragon.
They would be up the mountain a bit, but yeah, you can do that. So you get your climb on.
Well, actually, I do have. Do I have some? Did I get that stupid trait that allows me ridiculous movement?
Probably.
I think I did get it.
A little bit more
Athlete, yeah. So yeah, I got athlete. So climbing doesn't cost extra movement or anything. So, but that's in combat. But so I can
It
traverse.
helps. You're quick, is what it means. That this is not gonna tire you out, and you're much quicker at it than somebody else might be.
So
Seltharis is kind of still doing loops, but she has definitely slowed down on her breathing fire, as she's also very confused.
I will continue what I said for the other group to the others. I will instruct this current group to just gather, discuss some combat stuff that they figured out, and I will be right back after I make sure everyone else is calmed down.
Okay. This group definitely seems to still be pretty concerned about the dragon that's menacing them, but yeah, they seem to benefit from being told that it's gonna be okay. The other dragon apparently was supposed to explode.
And they were also, both dragons were working together to train this one group, right? Was it?
Yeah, their training is literally, you're going to need to fight dragons, so you have to be able to do that. Like, most people are terrified of dragons and run, you know? Most people in the world have never seen a dragon.
So I will instruct them also to work with Siltharis, or have them just say you'll be continuing with just one dragon right now. If you need a breather to collect yourself, you're welcome to take a breather to collect yourself.
Seltharis is going to, as she sees you talking to them, she's going to wait for you to finish, and as you begin to move away, she's going to transform back into a halfling and drop gracefully to the ground next to you, and says, "Hey, what's up with that? Where did the other one go?"
So, there is a fun story behind it. I'm surprised we didn't get around to tell you about it. I thought we did, but
I think you probably did, but of course, have never experienced it.
Yes, so when we were in the Fae, this is the result of a curse put on him by a very powerful magic user. And it pulls him out of existence. We don't know all the details, but it's always extremely colorful in many variety of ways.
She looks around at the candy on the ground that is literally a rainbow. Just, I can see it is colorful.
I mean, it gets gory, it gets twisted, it gets everything. There's no limit to it.
Do you want me to continue training these?
If you would please, go easy on the ones that haven't collected themselves. I hopefully have got them. I told them to take a breather if they need a second, but continue with the ones that seem eager.
Very well. As you say, General.
Yes, and thank you very much.
She winks at you as she grows back into her full gold dragon self, and then beats her great wings against the ground and takes back off into the air to continue menacing the students.
And then, I'll proceed to the next group. Do I see the other group?
Yep.
Lieutenants with them.
Yeah, you see 2 Laramenduses and a Cyrus.
I'll just shout, Lieutenant, it is Lieutenant, right?
Yeah, they're all Lieutenant. Everybody who isn't you.
Okay. Lieutenant Laramandus.
General?
Will you please, you've got your group collected and discuss the issue at hand.
It exploded right before you got there, so when you got there, there was just candy on the ground inexplicably.
The situation, sir?
I guess you guys just got back, like, this very second?
It has not been long.
So, Cyrus's chaos magic kicked in, by the way. So if you'd please collect your group and get them, help them get their wits about them, and I will proceed to the next group and make sure that they're all set.
I will make sure that everyone understands.
All right, thank you very much, and I will move on to the next group.
I guess it's
Raiken's point. Raiken will point to somebody and be like, "What happened to the other dragon?"
It was flying around, breathing fire, and then someone shot it, and it exploded, and it dropped this delicious candy on the ground when it exploded. And he pops a piece in his mouth.
Please spit that out.
No. He just continues chewing.
No.
The dragon exploded by some magical power. He is fine.
We don't have any magic arrows.
No, it was not due to any of the arrows, the camp. But the origins of that candy, I don't...
It's getting real big. It eventually breaks during your silence as you glare at this bubble. It just splatters back around his mouth, over his nose, and just up under his eyes. And he's still looking at you, waiting for you to finish your sentence.
Are you quite done?
Yeah, you kind of see his tongue poke out from the middle of the mass of gum on his face, and try to peel it off, but fail. And you see his eyes just kind of look around slightly panicked, and he just nods his head very quickly. Okay, I can still cast.
Excellent. I think Laramanus gives him a slightly more difficult thing than he was probably prepared for.
That goes.
Actually gives it to everyone.
There are people like slapping the back of his head like, you moron. I don't think you need to deal with Simularamanus, right? We're gonna go to Raiken.
Yeah, just the next group, because if Laramandus can handle his own simulacrum and whatnot.
Yeah.
I can't listen to you anyway. It wasn't given orders to.
I think Laramanus will go and have a similar conversation with the other group if they weren't within easy earshot.
True. All right, Raiken, give me a good insult.
Oh no! I'm not ready for with an insult.
You gotta be ready. Always.
That's what you're training them to do.
Wow, Raiken's slacking on his own training.
Yeah, Raiken's training them. Alex isn't training them.
Something about the scales being tipped. Come on, you got this.
Okay, no, this is gonna be for when Cyrus exploded.
Okay.
And the candy's raining down. Raiken's be like, I hope he tastes better than he looks.
So that's what you hear as you walk up, as Raiken is mid-fight with another Dragonborn. There's a bunch of sparring matches going on all around you. There seems to be no rhyme or reason. Like, they are paired off, but other than that, there's nothing really controlling the bouts at all.
Okay. So we'll walk up, and if Raiken's still combating, I'll tell him, Lieutenant Raiken, can you please give me a moment?
You fight like my sister!
Hold on. Let me talk to the general. Those are some good hits. Let me talk to the general.
he brings his weapon, up across his chest, nods to you, and just backs away, not breaking eye contact. Like, backs into somebody else, and they insult him.
Give me a second for beating you.
It was the best beating of my life, sir.
What is it, Yukikaze?
Can you please double check with everyone, make sure that none of them are disturbed by what happened to Cyrus? You don't have to go into any crazy detail. Just tell them that there's magic's involved and it's nothing serious, and that we just need to focus on our training.
Sure. No problem. Everybody,
They all stop fighting, and you just, as they're all as quickly as they can, heeding your order and stopping their fights, you just hear somebody toward the back shouting, "I hope you taste better than you look!"
That was a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Everyone, can everyone see Cyrus explode just now in the kid?
There's some looking back and forth, and they go, one of the closer one goes, if Cyrus was the dragon, then yes.
Yes. Lieutenant Cyrus was the dragon.
You sir, yes sir, then. The
All right.
others all repeat, sir, yes sir.
This is another lesson. Eat the candy.
Sir, yes sir! They all just bend down, grab a candy off the ground, and throw it in their mouths.
In battle, if you eat your enemy, the rest of them will get scared.
Raiken, I don't know what's involved with this candy. You shouldn't have him eat it. Just
He tastes better than he looks, sir.
Now I have to try some. Raiken's going to pick some candy off the ground and eat it.
It's delicious. It's probably the best candy you've ever had. You didn't even really like candy, and this is great.
So I'm gonna speak up. All right, group. Cyrus has involvement with some serious magics. What you saw was the result of it. It's nothing serious, or it's nothing to be concerned about. Just go back to your training. I would recommend probably not eating the candy, but because I don't know if it has any weird effects because of the magic involved. So you eat
There
it
have
at
never
your
been
own
any magic effects.
But I would tell you not to eat it and just continue your training.
Permission to ask a question, General Yukikaze, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Shouldn't all magic be considered serious since none of us can cast magic at all?
I apologize. It is because we have been heavily involved with magic for quite a long time now, and the things we deal with, we have become a little numb to magic and how extreme it is to other people. That is why I addressed it the way I did. But yes, you are correct.
He blows a bubble and it pops, and he takes the gun back into his own and says, "Sir, yes, sir."
And then I'll say, all right, continue on, Raiken, and I will proceed back to my group. And I'm going to step away for a second, okay?
Okay. Gonna blow a bubble at him, Raiken?
Yes.
Nice.
And he's actually going to, he's going to blow the bubble and then, spit it, and the bubble actually, floats in the air to, behind him.
What?
Follows him a little.
This is the weirdest gum ever.
But it's the best.
It's really good. Alright, you go back to insult sword fighting. Everybody's now chewing on candy as they continue fighting.
Yes. They will be the most menacing group of the army.
Leah, you are in the city, away from the snowy area. You've been leading your group on drills to move amongst the buildings, the rubble and debris as stealthily as possible, and how you've been teaching them how to identify faster routes, shortcuts, how to kind of get an understanding, very quickly of what the layout might be so that they can pre-plan a route as best they can and find out where what kind of holes they can fit through. It's kind of as much about learning about what they can do, what they can jump over, what they can crawl under, as it is about, learning a city's actual layout.
Yeah. I'm not teaching them parkour.
No, it's not like teaching them parkour, but they do need to understand, if they can get over something more quickly than they can get around it, they need to know if they can get over it. Some people are better at jumping than others, or climbing, and some people are smaller built and better for going under something. So it's those kinds of skills. It's you're not just walking down a street or finding a short alley. Sometimes it's about doing unconventional things.
Yeah.
Especially if you're escaping pursuit. You want to do something that the pursuer can't.
So we doing the wall jumps and then roll with our back over a fence.
I mean, yeah, it could be stuff like that. There's nothing saying that it can't. I mean, I'm even just thinking simpler, but yeah, it could definitely also be that.
No, I kind of went specific there for a reason.
Oh, okay. The people with you at this moment are going to be the ones on the Black Rose list that I gave you.
Oh. Interesting. Yeah. There's a dwarf among them, so I'm very curious.
I will add a dwarf to your list.
No, Oh yeah, no, yeah. Those.
I just grabbed as many of the feminine-looking tokens as I could from over there, threw them over here. This is more representative than it is an actual number, because there should be at least 5 of them, honestly.
Okay. So yeah, I will assert like what their skill sets are, like figure out the best way they could use their own bodies and own skill sets in order to navigate. So I'm fighting like the best small alleyways and such to practice in. And how to recognize like what cloth line might hold your weight or what fence might have a loose end so you can like slip under it.
Okay.
But she will be able to recognize those at first glance based on experience, but other people don't.
Yeah. Some of these things, the Dragonborn, who are built a little larger than like elves, especially, she's gonna have a little bit of trouble like mantling certain things, like fences that the elf springs over with ease, are either gonna crumble because they're damaged, or she just won't really be able to hold her balance very well, and she's gonna get kind of discouraged by that, seeing other people succeed at these things where she feels like she's having a lot more time. Her name is Miyaki Shirokiba. And so you're gonna, as you're instructing and people are trying, you're like, okay, try this. All right, you try that kind of thing. And these other people are like, okay, I think I'm getting the hang of it. You're gonna hear her saying, damn it, I just can't do this. I'm too big.
Well, you can use the size for advantage.
What do you mean?
Well, you can easier grab ledges that others can't.
She's going to, she's going to cock her head a bit at you, kind of taking this in and thinking about it, and she's going to look up and around, and there is, like, a damaged building, ringing this alley, that has, like, an opening blown on the second floor. And she is a bit taller, she is taller than the other girls in the group. And you'll see she kind of reaches up, like testing the hand height, and her hand is only a little bit below it, maybe 2 or 3 feet. And she'll look to you really quick, like asking, like, is this what you mean? With her eyes.
Yeah. If you can spring a leap up there, you got a quick way out. Like if someone following you on foot, they might find it harder to get up there.
She's
But
gonna,
of course, when escaping dragons.
she's gonna bring a hand to her chin, scratching her scales a little bit. Say, I worked mostly a desk job before this. I'll try. And you see her kind of crouch down. She focuses on that ledge, and she leaps toward it, and you see her fingertips just sort of wrap over the edge, but then you see a bunch of debris fly off, and she slides and falls back down. She grunts and growls. She tries again, and each time she, like, just barely gets a hold, but it's just not enough. And she watches as one of the other girls had, stepped off of, like, a fence to get on top of what was left of a wagon to run over top of it. And you see her kind of considering that for a moment, and she tries one more time, but instead of trying to straight leap for the ledge, you see her put a foot against the wall and push on that, and she gets just enough extra height to get her whole hand up there and grab another piece of debris sticking off, and pulls herself into a sitting position on this crumbling second floor hole in the wall. And she like, she looks down, you can kind of see, her eyes are a bit wide with surprise. She goes, I did it?
You did a good job.
The other girls, who are nearby, like, they kind of hear her excited about it, and they come over, gathering around you a bit, looking up. They go, wow, that's really high, I couldn't get up there. Scales don't blush, but you can tell she seems a little embarrassed by the attention.
Yeah, I know how to read Dragonborn.
Well, good, because the Dragonborn don't know how to read you. At least it goes one way. She's going to,
Nope, definitely can't read her.
She's going to scoot her butt off and grasp the edge with her hand, letting her feet slide down until she can drop just the last couple feet to the ground, absorbing the impact. She goes, okay. So I don't have to be able to do all the things everybody else can, but there are other ways to escape that maybe I am better at. I can work with that. I can do the high jobs.
Yeah. And if you practice on a bow and arrow, getting high can be a good thing.
She's gonna narrow her reptilian eyes at you. She says, getting high can be a good thing? On mission?
Well, if you're fighting, yes. If not, then...
I don't know if I'd
Well,
fight
you're
very
getting
well
hikes.
if I was high.
Oh, not like that. Like getting high, getting above the ground, like you are now.
All of the girls around you start laughing at this joke that she's made. It's actually good bonding going on. They're learning to work well and learn each other's personalities well, actually. They're
Oh,
not
that's
making fun of you.
No, yeah, no, it's even laugh where she just shake her head of it, that she didn't immediately get it.
Lorelai's just like, if they want to get high, I know plenty of plants that work.
Not a good time, Lorelai, but thank you for the input.
But I can fetch them. It's actually quite the pastime in the Feywild. You want them to learn more about the Feywild. They're going to be working with Zindaramel.
Yes, but why would getting high help you in any way there? It's crazy enough already.
Maybe it's why it's crazy. To you. Normal for us. Anyway, I'll be back.
Like, she does the kind of face palm where they like pinch your the in between
The bridge of your nose.
Yeah.
The
Wait,
Dragonborn is
she
good.
just... I was gonna say, did she just leave to get high?
The Dragonborn's gonna say, is she actually going to go get plants to smoke?
Knowing her, yes. She doesn't really joke around often.
Is this going to be part of the training?
No, let me deal with her.
Can it be part of the training?
I'd like you to be focused when we do this. Maybe once we're done.
Alright, a collective groan. They get back to their training with renewed vigor and more chatter, actually. They seem to be supporting one another quite well. You have to do less and less direct teaching as they start to get the hang of it and show each other different moves. Vendar. You get back to the World Over Inn. It's pretty quiet during the day, as most of the officers are either out helping train the army, or off doing their non-training duties that they had under Tatsuya. So when you get there, it's quiet. The smell of food wafts around. There's maybe 2 or 3 people here taking a meal or drinking coffee. And Ruby is moving in and out of the kitchen behind the bar. You can hear her giving orders to whoever's working with her every time she passes into the kitchen, and she comes out now and then to clean some glasses and take any orders that have come up.
Alright, go ask her
About the meat.
about the fat.
So she, comes back out to the bar and looks up and down to make sure that nobody needs her, and she spots you. She says, welcome back, darling. What can I get you?
I'm looking to get any animal fat you have. I need to boil some animal fat, so I need to...
Animal fat, you say? Well,
Yeah.
we do have a bit of that. Usually we use it for the cooking, but I could spare you some. If you needed more than that, we've also got some bits and gristles that we tend not to serve, cuttings, but they'll have some on them as well.
Hey, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. Any you got.
Any we've got. Well, we've got quite a lot, and I can put it to other uses, so would you mind paying a bit for it? Just a gold or two.
Of course. Of course I'll do.
Ah, perfect. She'll take a couple of gold coins, say 2 gold coins, and she'll come back with one at a time, but 3, decently sized buckets. One is just full of white congealed grease and fat, and another is full of chunks of meat that still have a lot of white on them, and seeming to be from red meats. And then the third is just a lot of chicken.
Excellent.
I shudder to ask, but what are you gonna do with it? Where are you gonna take it? I don't want to find out it's been stuffed in strange places around the inn.
You don't gotta worry about that. And I'm gonna boil it.
Do you need to use the kitchen?
No, I got a lab to work at. I'll take care of it.
I see. Where is the entrance to the... It's in the room, isn't it?
It's in our room. So he's like, I gotta laugh, and then he's gonna walk upstairs in front of her.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, she says, okay, and you pick up the thing, and she expects you to walk out the front door, and instead, you walk to the side and begin heading for the stairs, and right as you're getting past the wall, she's gonna, you're gonna hear tuck, 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 as she quickly walks across the wood over. She says, hold on, I thought you said you were going to take it to a lab and not stuff it in weird places in my inn.
Oh, I'm not. We have a lot of magic. We have this magic space that where the entrance is just in a room upstairs. It's complicated why we had to open it up, but anyway, I'm gonna use it as a lab. You want to see it?
Yes, actually, please. I need to at least try to wrap my mind around what you're telling me you've magically done to my room.
Unfortunately, she probably can't go into it.
Isn't it just open to any, or is it locked?
No, it's any creature that you specify when you cast the spell. I don't know that Laramendis would have included her.
Well, you can see the
He probably would have included Thandros.
Well, she's going to be able to see the entrance. He's going to be able to walk through. He'd be like, all right, be back later.
So, he'll go to a portion of the wall, reach out and open a door that wasn't there a second ago, because it's invisible when it's closed.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't remember that part.
And then walk into the wall.
Yep.
She
As soon as he started.
He just goes over to the wall next to the vanity there, and he's like, yeah, it's right here. He reaches out and pulls something unseen, and then he disappears. She does not follow you in.
I'll hand the buckets to unseen servants and tell them to go and I'll make sure that she knows. I was like, this is a...
Just poke your head out of the wall.
When you poke your head back out, she's not there, but you can hear her shoes tapping against the wood as she comes back around the corner and sees you. She'd clearly been in the hallway outside. Well,
at the other side of the wall.
That's a fancy bit of trickery there, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a lot of powerful magic. This is kind of like our home base. We have a... I'm actually don't entirely know how it works. You might not be able to go in.
She is going to, push you aside a bit and reach out and press her hand against the wall, which is just plaster for her. Just tapping on it with her palm, just all over it, just, searching for a knob or something, and hearing the echo. It just sounds like the rest of the wood of the place. Very fancy bit of trickery. Alright, well, you're keeping the fat in... You're keeping the fat in my wall.
Yeah, it's not... It's a different dimension. The entrance is just there.
Well, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. That's terrifying. God.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about it. Everything's fine. If you get any more fat, though, let me know.
I guess I should have expected your wizard would have access to a magnificent mansion, though.
I actually know what it is. Yes, it is exactly what it is.
I told you my adventuring days were behind me. I didn't tell you I didn't have any.
I mean, not every adventurer has access or even knows what a magnificent mansion is.
Well, I had good friends. Powerful friends once. She's going
Hey,
to,
that is
like,
good stuff.
she's gonna eye you for a second. Say, hold on to him better than I did.
I'll certainly try. He's gonna live a lot longer than me. Most of them are.
It's a lucky adventurer that sees old age, I think. We'll see if I make it there.
Anyway. Thank you for the fat.
Of course. Anyway, just once you're done with those buckets, bring them back. I need those. And, don't leave any sludge in the mansion, because it's just going to get burped back out in the air.
Of course. I'll make sure it's all good.
She's going to look at the blank spot on the wall again. And you're going to see this kind of appreciation in her eye. You don't know if it's appreciation of this work she supposedly can't see, or if she's thinking about something. But there's definitely something going on in her head, and she seems not displeased. Well, if you need anything to actually eat, just let me know. We'll make you something.
Thank you. See you later.
She's going to stop in the doorway and nod to you before pulling the door closed.
I'll go back into the mansion and start boiling some fat.
You do this. It's neither glamorous nor, particularly exciting, but it is a work that will provide you with something you want that is both glamorous and exciting when it explodes.
Yeah. And make as much as I possibly can.
Well, alright. Yeah, why don't you roll me some medicine checks, 4 of them.
And so I do have proficiency, so I can't get less than 10 for that, right?
Yep. Reliable talent.
Alright, so that's 2 18s. And then a 24 and a 27.
Okay. Yep, you manage not to lose any of the sludge as it boils off. You're able to transfer it into buckets you can carry out. And with some doing, because this isn't something you've done before, it takes a little bit of, getting used to what exactly you're looking for. What's the right thing, what's the wrong thing, and then how to separate the right from the wrong. You do eventually produce a not very good smelling either part material, but you are confident that it is the color and viscosity that had been described to you by Visandrius. So you believe that you have the correct what do we call them? Precursor. The correct precursor for what you're trying to make.
Excellent.
So now you just need to nitrogenate it.
What's that entail?
You need nitrogen, so probably go to the soil, find if they have a farm, especially, or had, anywhere they had livestock. You're gonna be looking for the poopies.
Let's go dig through some shit.
You come back smelling great.
I'll ask Ruby about any farms.
Yeah, they did have several. Most of them were raised. Some are still working. Not all of their food now is imported, but a lot of it is. And they have Tatsuya to thank for that. But she can give you a little map of the city and point out where to go if you're looking for the good farm or the bad farm. She doesn't know what you want at this point. She doesn't know that you're going to come back with buckets full of shit.
I don't think she wants to, so I'm not gonna tell her.
Uh-huh. Is that forgiveness, not permission?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that's going to take you several hours of going and scooping what you believe you need. Both the walking, the getting, and the walking back. So, by that point, the day has worn on, the soldiers are getting quite tired, and you're all pretty sure that this is probably as much training as can be reasonably expected, without starting to drop some major magic to try and revitalize people. So, General Yukikaze, are you going to call in the soldiers for meals and bed?
Yes. I think it's a good time to. How far can voice travel?
I mean, you're a big dragonborn, so you can shout pretty good. So at least, your group and maybe another group nearby can hear you. You can walk one to each, or you can use the telepathic bond that you have to communicate to your lieutenants to bring their soldiers in.
Is that active all the time?
It is active as long as you want it to be active. You can opt in and opt out at will by speaking the phrase while touching the mark on your wrist.
Now, what if you're not in the bond and somebody needs you in the bond? Is there like a telephone ring in your head?
I believe that if you're not in the bond and somebody else is on the bond, it will have a particular color to it to let you know there are people using it. But I don't.
Is there any colors on mine right now?
I believe that everybody else is probably actively on it. I feel very confident Lara Mendes is.
Because I didn't opt in or out, so technically I think I'd be off of it.
So you're off of the bond. I know that this morning you had asked Lara Mendes if all of this stuff after the dream sequence had ended. You'd asked Lara Mendes if all of this explanation had been said on the bond. Are we on the bond? And he told you that he's on the God bond. That's how he describes that one. But if you didn't opt in at that point, then yeah, all you need to do is, place your hand over the symbol and say, the journey is easier with the voices in my head.
Alright, so I place my myself. The journey is easier with the voices in my head.
The brand on your wrist is going to immediately take on the blue-green hues of Avandra's symbol. It's the 3 waves that seem to be burnt into your scales. And immediately you're going to begin hearing the thoughts of other people on the bond.
Real quick before I say anything else, alright, to my group real quick. We're going to wrap up for the day. I'm going to get a hold of the lieutenants and have everyone proceed to getting meals and get some rest.
The group in front of you who have just finished, building tents and scavenging for, nuts and berries hear this, and they seem very excited about it.
Okay. And then you are, and I'll say for this group, you are dismissed.
They're going to gather up and begin heading back to the bivouac.
And so then I will turn my attention to the bond and say, hey, is anyone or who's all on the bond right now? The God bond, I should say.
I think Raiken would be.
Sound off?
Yeah, I suppose better to be on fun. Got no reason not to be.
Raiken here.
Elise, Lara Mendes, or say Leah. Leah.
That's right. put Lorelei on the bond. You just hear Lorelei hasn't come back to your group yet, but you do hear Lorelei reporting in.
What do you want? I'm making bombs.
Leo Armendis, are you there?
Yeah.
Lerman is. Sam's probably not back yet from.
Yeah, he's dealing with the cat, but yeah, he'll respond.
Yeah, he's probably definitely in it. So, all right, guys. We don't want to. Oh, what about I will go up and get her attention here in a moment. All right, we've done a good amount of training today. We don't want to completely tire out our group because then they won't retain everything that they've taken in. So let's wrap up for the day. You can dismiss your groups and tell them that they can get food and get some rest. If any of you are going to continue any kind of training or need anything, please let me know.
Very well.
Okay. Well, I'll see you guys back at the inn, and then I will proceed to go toward the hill, Tristan, to get
Saltharis?
Seltharis. Yes, I will go to the hill and get Seltharis' attention because she's not on the god bond.
No, she's definitely not.
Yes, so I'll be going to the hill to get her attention to inform her of the wrap up for the day.
Okay. She will stop terrorizing the soldiers, and she will return to her halfling form. So yeah, you gather your lieutenants and your soldiers, and you begin to head back to the camp / the inn. Is everybody who has heard over the bond down with doing that?
Mm-hmm.
So you meet back up in front of the inn, gathering it on Yukikaze. Your general. There are 2 Laramendus and 1 Cyrus. The 2 Laramendus are almost identical, except that they're wearing different clothing, and one of them has neither Ash nor his famous book. Even though the token does have the book. And the same clothing.
Token lies.
It's true. But you can check with Tab. One of them is Simulator Mentis.
Except I can't check.
There, now you can see it. So, your lieutenants have gathered to you, with the exception of Vendar and Jebel.
Okay.
You have not seen Jebel since the others returned from the university, but asking about him, they would simply tell you that he had he was looking into magic items in the university, and he should appear later on using his transit via plants.
Okay. And I will say to everyone, so would you guys all like to give me a report on everything, or how things went while we eat, or would you like to talk before we eat?
I think we can eat while we talk.
Okay. Anyone else feel up for that? Alright.
I'm going to say that the Simulacra and Laramendus say that sounds fine.
Yeah, well, yeah, if I get no one voices any wanting to do something different, that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
So we'll proceed then, find a table, and everyone will just let me know how things went.
Leah, are you still in summer?
I don't know, actually. I haven't thought about it.
How are you feeling? You've had some good success today.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, let's see... Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be summer.
Okay.
Let's put it in spring.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Your daughter is pink again.
Raiken will say across the table, "Well, Leah, you have very pretty hair right now."
But not in
thank
Elvish.
you.
Yeah, no, not in Elvis. This is common.
Sorry, Leah. Go ahead again.
I just said thank you.
Ruby will bring you all drinks and food as you ask for it.
Yes, delicious ale and meat.
You get delicious ale and meat.
He's a simple dragonborn.
It is true. He is. Vendar, are you gonna keep? Oh my God, you're not back yet. From your excursion. You come back from your excursion.
I walk in covered in shit.
Oh my God. With a big old shit-eating grin on his face.
With several
Perhaps
buckets
you should
of
wash
shit.
up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, Vendar, go clean up, come back.
I'm busy.
You're gonna just start tromping toward the stairs with your buckets
I'll
of
just-
shit.
I'll
No.
just drop upstairs with his buckets of shit.
Oh my God. Alright, well, he's on his way in. There are several other officers in here who have sat down for meals that are turning and looking quite upset by the smell and sight of this man. No one stops him.
I mean, I think that Larminus is just kind of like a bit like too shocked to really try and stop him until he's going. I will cast prestidigitation at everywhere that he stepped.
Yeah, he's leaving a little bit of a trail. It's mostly the smell.
He's going up into the room.
As you pack past the bar, Ruby is going to come out and say, I know where you think you're going with that, but I have to ask why.
I'm making something.
She's going to, quickly, step in closer, and you can feel just the pressure of a single finger on your back, pushing you forward, hopefully further out of sight of the rest of the people in here. You allow her to push you further into the building.
If it's towards the mansion,
It's towards the mansion.
then yeah.
It's like, you didn't think you could maybe find a more discreet way back in the building if you were going to... Oh, gods! Bring that with you?
Good point. I'll come into the deck from now on. If I'm gonna be bringing something like this.
Hopefully you don't need to be bringing anything more like that back into the mansion. That bucket you can keep.
I'm sure Larmendus can clean it with magic.
Suppose that's true. Fine, just definitely do never bring shit through the front doors ever again.
Alright, I won't bring shit to the front doors ever again.
I've got a way in the back. I can show it to you later. Just wash up before you come back down. And I mean thoroughly.
I will. Thanks.
Yeah. She's gonna just point up the stairs. Go!
Bender's just so excited.
I assume Larminus knows the purpose of this, just due to being around when...
Doo-doo.
God. This cockamamie scheme.
Oh my god. Yeah, you can guess at it pretty easily. You were there when he was told how to do what he's trying to do.
I know that Laraminus can clean it with prestidigitation, but now it's just like going forward. Any officers who are aware of that bucket, like, is that the shit bucket? I don't want it, even if it's been cleaned.
Can never truly be.
Vendar brings somebody a bucket of water, and they're just like, "No, I would rather die."
No thanks.
Jump into the water.
I'll dehydrate.
We'll just die instead.
You've been prestidigitating, and you can see that Ruby nods thankfully towards you. You also notice that she does not seem bothered or surprised that there's two of you at the table. Which
Excellent.
is in itself actually a surprise. You would expect a person who has not shown any aptitude for magic to be confused by this, given the world you live in. And she is not.
I think Laraminus will just, like, nod at her. Like, as he's doing this, and she's acknowledging the like, magic and not acknowledging the weirdness with the two of them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, she's, older than the people you travel with, though a human, so probably not a lot older. She looks like she's maybe in her 30s or 40s.
I think Laraminus will probably plan to talk to her when he's not with the, like, not in the dinner rush kind of time.
Okay.
Because that is interesting.
Mm-hmm. So you are what you missed while you were out getting the cat stuff was that the day kind of drew long, and Yukikaze called a hold to the training and sent everyone back to camp, and now you're gathered at your officer's table. He has asked for reports.
Laraminus will say, our time at the university was...
Hold on. I first would like the report because training is just the status of the troops. I would like to get the complicated part of how things over at the university.
I am having trouble parsing what you said. You want troop discussions first in the university?
I was saying the troop stuff is not that complicated. I am curious about how things went at the university first.
Yes. So our time at the university was, and he like pauses for a second and looks the last place that he saw Vendar, and says,
"Successful,
fruitful." Vice Andreas's methods, though
you're upstairs.
Alarming.
I'm on the pond.
Oh, you are on the pond.
And that's true. It works. It works in the mansion now.
Yep.
Whereas it didn't before.
Well, no, we're talking verbally out loud, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not asking. This is while we're eating verbally out loud.
Okay.
I don't want to be in the guys'
yeah,
heads all the time.
For this part of things, Laraminus will be verbally responding to you then.
Because I also want our troops to realize, like, you got other officers here that we're actually discussing things instead of just sitting here staring at each other at the table, eating food.
I suppose that's fair.
You're just incredibly efficient.
Vice Andreas's methods, though more dangerous than I would prefer from somebody of his stature at the university. We're effective. They've managed to devise a more stable form of the material, which I believe is what Vendar is currently engaged with.
We're talking about that stuff that made him into paste, or made him into nothingness.
Yes.
Oh my.
And now Laramendus will switch to the bond and say, Yukikaze, I left the notes that Kazunari had given me with Dean Amara. I thought it prudent that someone outside of our group has the knowledge for what needs to happen should the worst happen.
Refresh my memory on the
notes that from Kazunari were all about the rituals for dealing with the dragons. So this was something that you had asked Laramendus not to share with people. I mean, I think that was back in the Underdark, I think, when that conversation happened.
You could go. So I would have said, and you left it with who again?
I think that everyone here met the dean, right?
I'm pretty sure they did. But you can just tell them. It's the Dean of Abjuration.
The Dean of Abjuration. I believe you had... She'd been the one facilitating our work when we were at the university, traveling into the Feywild.
Kind of would have
trustworthy.
I kind of would have liked you to let me know that, just so that we know who all knows, or at least got our opinion on who we wanted to share it with, because this is also just a out of character, retraining my thoughts, Tristan. Mm-hmm. The sealing, if someone knows how to seal it, they know how to unseal it, right?
Yes. Or somebody sufficiently magical could. I think that was part of the reason why you wanted me to not tell anyone.
Yes.
Was that I think like Laramendus saw how to seal them and was like, okay, I get it.
So then I'll emphasize. So, did you emphasize to the dean that we don't want this shared with anyone else, and this person is trustworthy enough to where they won't share it with someone else?
I can have a conversation with her to make certain that she's aware that it's safest to hold on to unless the worst happens to us.
I would prefer that, because it's like why the Platinum Sentinels were able to succeed for so long was because of the scarcity of the knowledge being out there. And that's my concern.
I am of the opinion that if we have enough minds working together, we can come to a solution different than potentially letting all this information get lost.
I thought you were going to say something along the lines of a different solution that's more permanent.
I don't think that any solution is going to be permanent. But yes, the ideas of the Platinum Sentinels worked for an impressively long amount of time. I think that we can probably come to some ideas that don't require that type of effort.
Well, it's just a thought, because you know that if any kind of frickin' occultist that worships the Tiamat they'll find that information and want to unseal all the dragons. It's just the concern of, how the information is available. Because if we're sealing them, we're going for the path of sealing the dragons, it's going to be worthless if it just immediately unsealed. You know what I mean?
We will need to be cautious and prudent in how we go about dealing with the scales and all of that after we've finished, yes. But I do think that there is merit in bringing more people into that planning.
Well,
and making sure that we're not the only sources of that knowledge.
I'm fine with that, but it's just making sure we're taking the appropriate steps for it. But okay. So the dean knows about Kazunari's information. All right. And Vendar, I know you're on the bond. We're going to have to come
over the bond.
We're going to have some rules about your new toy. Because for you, it is a toy.
Hey, I got plans for this.
You have plans, but we got to come up with some kind of battle plan on how to use them. Because I don't want to get accidentally blown. I don't want to have to be reincarnated.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I have a vision of using this to blow up Shasharan's head. Looking forward to it.
But please don't just get carried away.
There's such a thing.
And please tell us how many you have made and whatnot, and so we know how much to be mindful of. All right. So, how did you guys feel about all the...
I loved it. I thought they did a good job.
You asked that audibly?
Yeah. Actually, since Raiken spoke up, Blairminus, so Raiken, if you want to go first, how did you feel everything went?
I thought my group went very well. They are going to be a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield, and they will make the enemy shiver in their scales.
And what was with the interesting dialogue?
Oh, that's insult fighting.
Insult fighting.
Yes. It's very effective.
I can understand riling up the enemy, but we're dealing with very intelligent dragons, so... Okay. I guess it could also bolster the group's morality a little bit. Get them riled up.
Exactly. They need the confidence.
I think Cyrus would just kind of cock an eyebrow at Raiken and say, well, I certainly think dragons aren't going to see that coming, so maybe it will be effective.
Exactly.
It's just a very interesting way to go about it. How about you, Larmandus? How things with your group?
Verbally, Laramendas will say, given the time that we've been working together, their progress is fast. And then on the bond, he will say, I have concerns that they will be ready in any reasonable amount of time to use magic against dragons.
They lack the fundamentals that would have been taught had they several more years of training at the university, which they didn't.
So, Don Bondal says, do they have enough at least to be able to do some damage with magic to a dragon, you think?
If they pick one that's the right element.
That was basically what I was going to say.
I am good
it's
at being your
reasonable.
simulacrum, then.
And then Lerman is just, like, gestures at the
Simulacrum.
and just nods.
And out of the bond, I'll speak and say, have you also been doing any kind of support magics? Because even though attack magic might take a lot of skill to be able to do any significant damage, is there any support magics that could be super useful that do not require heavy training?
I think that Lermanus probably would have been trying to figure out how he could have them do things of that nature just because he was concerned about them dying. But there's not a whole lot at, like, cantrip and first level that
Our support.
that works well for that.
Old monster's 5th level.
Honestly, I mean,
But I suppose if you drilled it specifically every day, somebody wouldn't really be at 2nd level spellcasting, but they could probably learn a 2nd level spell by rote.
Yeah.
So, say if you make someone specialize in a single spell.
Yeah. It could work. It's not the way I prefer to teach my students. I find it to be difficult and unrewarding. There's so much magic you can do if you take the time to learn it properly. A single spell is fine.
Similar. This is for survival more than actual for the enjoyment of magic. But if they can at least master a single spell, then they also would have tasted magic and be more motivated to learn the fundamentals and learn from more in the end. But
I think to Laramendas will say, if we can manage to keep them alive long enough that they can return to the university, that is likely the ideal situation.
agreed.
Yeah.
Which is partly him like saying it to convince himself.
Yeah.
Because
Literally.
he basically, he doesn't think that he doesn't actually value Simulacrum Laramendas' opinion all that much.
Oh.
Because it's like
Because it's his?
because he's like probably already thinking it, and it's a construct, and he's an asshole when it comes to constructs.
It's true. Constructs of magic are just tools. Which means Simulator Amendus is also thinking that.
Yeah.
Simulator Amendus is a nihilist!
Simulator Amendus' self-image is not great.
No, I think it's probably not.
Although, I mean, does it know?
Does it know it's a simulacrum?
Because it can't learn.
It cannot.
So I guess can it understand that it is just a construct?
I mean, it's possible that it cannot. I think that it draws logical conclusions using your knowledge, but can it learn? Like, does that count as learning? Kinda, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, is drawing a conclusion the same as learning?
Yeah, the spell is not great that way. Because it has to be able to do some amount of that just to be
worth something.
Yeah.
Like, even now, it had to draw conclusions about the students in order to answer the question that it was asked.
I want to say that he can't gain anything more. Like, coming to conclusions, I feel, is not learning. That's just knowing.
Well, I think that what they don't want it doing is, like, sending it into a dangerous situation where you might die, and then having it come back out and tell you everything it learned, because it can't learn.
What they really don't want it to do is to gain experience.
Yeah.
Like, experience points. Like,
Okay.
it's explicitly, it's not able to
level up.
regenerate its abilities, it's not able to level up, it's not able to do any of that kind of stuff.
I mean,
Which is, I think, the actual intent behind that statement.
It's also hard to really know what the limitations are supposed to be, since you can't even fall back on, like, the school's illusion.
Yeah.
It doesn't even tell me anything. Like, there's nothing I can work with just that. It's like, okay, you made a snowman, and then made it look like Laramentis. Like, does it melt when it comes into a hot room?
Just now, I'm going to propose that the first thing out of every simulacrum's mouth is "Happy Birthday." I would like that to be the case.
Happy birthday to me.
Because it's Frosty the Snowman.
Oh gosh.
But that's,
and then the Yeti comes over and smashes it.
I don't remember what was being said before
We were talking about the specified training a specific spell. And art magics and how they were doing on their attack magic.
Is there really any, like, second level spell that's good enough of a support thing?
You don't have to give any huge answer right now. It's just stuff I'd like us to think about Lyra to incorporate and, like you said, to increase the survival of the ones that do know magic.
We could have them all learn magic weapon.
Alright, so Leah, how did things go with you?
Well, it went well. Just teaching people to navigate the cities, using their strengths. It was a Dragonborn that struggled a little, but she found it eventually.
I'm sorry, I feel like that question was directed at me.
No, Leah was answering my question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I was like, I was only paying half attention, and now I feel bad.
It wasn't a question at all, so I got confused and checked if I was muted.
So, everyone seems to be doing good, and you feel that they're going to be pretty capable. Is there anything else you were able to teach them?
Yeah. They improve. They're not the best fighting bunch, but they can be good at guarding intel.
Okay, so you feel that there will be more for communicating across the battlefield and being our eyes and ears. Okay. Alright. Also, I think were you pretty far from the snowy area, Leah?
We were like at the city designed place. The place that looks
Alright.
like a city.
Well, just to let you know. Well, actually, I'll let you know I'm on the bond, so I'll hop back on the bond and be like, alright, Vendar and Leah. Cyrus poofed, by the way. Just wanted to give you a heads up.
Oh, that explains why he's not here now.
But he is here now.
Can't he?
Look at him. He's right there.
I think Simulacrum Cyrus looks offended.
Oh,
He's a connoisseur. He's not on the bond. He can't hear me say it.
wait. Do I know it's a Philacrum or do I not?
It's looking at him, it's impossible to tell. He is an exact copy.
But like, was it told to me that a Philacrum will return? So I know it would be there.
So I think that it's wearing the same like type of clothes as Simulacrum Laramendos.
Yeah, they're basically dressed
which
like
is
soldiers.
very different. But yeah, like so they're not dressed normally.
But I believe everyone was told in the
wasn't-
morning that this was the plan, right?
I think so.
Yes, I believe so.
So Leah's welcome to draw inaccurate conclusions,
It's true.
but
So yeah, I will.
It's also
communicate-
reasonable to say you know that he is not.
So I'm going to communicate to the both of you that Cyrus poofed.
Was
And
he
this
the
time-
candy? The candy was too good not to be Cyrus.
Oh my.
It's disturbing. I do hope there are no ill effects.
Yeah, I don't know why, but Raiken was eating it too and was all for his group eating it, and I protested, but they chose
You can give commands to your subordinates.
I've still got some.
Oh, it's delicious. That's the best candy I ever had.
Well, I do want them to have faith in my lieutenants, though, too, so I didn't want to
Greekers
really
love
push
it
it.
too.
It's another
hard.
tactic, just like insult fighting.
It worked against the general.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
You got scared. The dragons will get scared too.
I'm gonna smack you. And I said this in the bond so that the other officers around us couldn't hear me say this to them.
Go ahead and try.
Alright. Is there anything else anyone wants to add, or any questions, concerns about anything before we just enjoy our meal and rest up?
Raiken's already been enjoying his meal.
I would have been nibbling. I would have been really digging in yet.
He's double fisting his meal. He goes, I still got candy. Candy's great. It's tactic.
Yeah, but he's not eating the candy. He's
He's
saving
eating
it.
his food
Yeah.
while talking about the candy. I need more sausage.
And dwarven ale.
Makes the candy go down smoother.
Unless someone wants to say something to me, I'm gonna just focus on eating. I need to stand up and walk around, guys, or I'm gonna pass out.
Okay.
Just give me.
Overall, it was a good day of training.
Yeah.
You guys can talk and discuss things, though.
No, we can't. Not without the general.
General sitting right there, staring at his food, eating his food.
I think my group's gonna be the best.
Simulacrum Cyrus is like, I don't know. I mean, I've been training them to fight a dragon. I mean, real me has. Where is he?
Interestingly, the curse did not affect you.
That sounds like a good data point.
That
You
makes
should
you
tell him
better
when he
already.
You should tell me when he comes back.
You should tell me when I come back.
Yeah. Have this similar Mendes is like looking at his hands like, interesting. Ash, make a note of that. Ash sort of looks between you and the simulacrum like,
This is awkward.
Scholar?
Raiken's gonna take out a piece of candy and offer it to Simulacrum Cyrus. Like, you want some? It's you.
I think he's going to take it. It's like, if I devour the real me, do I gain my own courage?
There's only one way to find out.
There is. He's gonna offer it to Simulator Mendes. Just looks at it and
Mendes
says,
would not take it.
no. It was worth a try. I think he's gonna eat it.
Yes.
He grows an extra finger.
Lairman is paying very close attention to Simulacrum Cyrus.
He grows an extra finger on each hand.
Interesting.
I wonder if I can cast more spells now.
I think when that happens, Simulacrum Luremendus looks at real Luremendus with a look that Luremendus does not like Simulacrum Luremendus looking at him.
It's unfortunate they're right across from each other.
It's okay.
Because the thought going through his mind is, if I eat real me, what happens?
What?
And regular Luremendus at the same time makes eye contact with Simulacrum Luremendus. And there's just like a look of horror, but also curiosity, but the horror outweighs the curiosity.
You're just momentarily considering saving like a fingernail clipping or something later tonight. But what if?
Luremendus mutters, I mean, if Jebel can still cast Regenerate.
Here,
Oh,
eat my
terrible.
finger. No. That's disgusting. I will not partake in cannibalism. It's not cannibalism, you're a snowman.
What if I chopped it off first? Will that be okay?
I want it braised. Wow, this went places.
Look, I blame you.
I feel like, yeah, there just be that silence, and Raiken would just be like, look at Luremendus, look at Simulacrum Luremendus, be like, this is very awkward right now. I have two Luremendus I'm inside of me.
But what if the magic about the candy is what's really... If... So, residuum is like a powder.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar is like a powder.
It's true. These are both. I can see where you're going with this. Maybe.
I'm just saying.
Cocaine is like a powder.
If I dissolve and then reduce the magic candy, do I get residuum?
Well, so that's not where I was thinking, what happens if we use residuum to make candy?
Can people just eat residuum? What will happen?
Like, what happens to... A wizard probably wouldn't gain much benefit. But what happens if a sorcerer eats candy laced with residuum?
I mean, they might explode. They're already brimming with magic. Don't put more magic in.
I'm saying, like, they've spent spell slots, they've spent the meta magic, they've done all this, the sorcery points.
Don't try to put lift in my game.
That sounds like a way to assassinate a sorcerer. Candy and watch him pop.
Sorcerer's just like, pure investiture. Free real estate. He eats one of your candies and just gets a spell slot back.
Yeah, that's like, would that happen?
Possible. I have to think about it. We're going to have lift in this game, I guess. God, they're going to make residual
candy
truffles.
I don't know if I want to end this rant or just let it keep going.
It has to be in the form of macarons.
I mean, it's the only, like, shape that properly
Contains
handles the residual.
Exactly. Different colored macarons. For different amounts of residuals. This is a good one.
Just get a clear macaron.
I don't know what it means, but I'm going in. And that was the day...
That would be such a wasteful use of residuum.
That was the day the inn exploded. sorcerers everywhere.
It'll go straight to your thighs.
And then you'll
Then
blow
you'll
up.
blow up.
Oh, man.
Right then. Now that we've had that,
You've got that. Simulator Amanda is still holding your gaze. Like, I know what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know if we have the time to test it now.
There's all night. They're going to be asleep. That's 4 hours to ourselves.
Like Lerman opens his mouth to say to argue against it, closes it, cocks his head. I don't know that we can spare the residuum in our current state.
Because you
he's
know
trying
it.
to convince
I know
himself.
that Jebel hasn't been going through his at the same rate as everyone else. We can balance some books here.
Jesus.
Barmandus is a bad influence on himself. Simulator Amandus just says the stuff you're too afraid to say because he doesn't have your headband.
It's true, he is noticeably dumber.
I suppose now is as good a time as any. Where'd you go, Thess? I know I left you around here somewhere. There you are.
Which one was this?
Thess is the coffer.
I was actually gonna have you, or I was gonna have an NPC fetch him.
Nope, he fetches himself. So, Captain Rialan Thess, the elf known as the Coffers, shows up. And he's going to say, "Ah, good. General Yukikaze, I was hoping to catch you in a relaxed setting."
I was actually thinking about finding you myself.
I trust that your training today with the army went satisfactorily.
Based on the report from my lieutenants, things I feel went pretty smoothly.
Very good. You will be happy to know that almost all the things that I had assigned myself are also proceeding smoothly. We should be receiving another shipment of foodstuffs from the mainland, specifically from Thanendir, tomorrow. I have been working on opening up more supply lines so that we can fill out our need quickly before that need actually comes to bear upon us. But it does require more funds than I had left to me from Tatsuya.
We did discuss that you would give us a number for what you would need so we could help supplement it.
Well, that will depend on exactly how long you want to fund this going forward. But I have drawn up some figures, and if the supply lines can be trusted to remain in place, and for the prices that had been quoted to me over the last couple weeks via sendings, then I should be able to keep us here for the next 3 days on about 500 gold pieces. If we are staying another 2 weeks, I will require 1,000 gold pieces, but I can stretch 1,500 gold pieces for up to 2 months.
Okay.
The price gets better the more time we have, and I feel like our chances for success also improve the more time we have.
Well, we also have to take into account the time that this also gives the dragons.
Yes, of
And
course.
the damage it can do.
Well, these are the prices I was able to secure for now.
How about for the information on supplies needed for building the transportations for goods and stuff?
Yes, I was able to speak with the carpenters we have, and we were able to draw up some plans for collapsible carts. Carts with hinges and removable panels so that they can be made smaller to be teleported. And in the meantime, the goods and supplies they would carry could be hand-carried by several soldiers, and then placed back upon the carts for wheeling once through the portal.
Did we have some of the supplies already here to do the modifications or make these, or do we need to add more resource funds for that too?
We have access to a good supply of wood and metal, given that the city was built of quite a bit of it, though significant portions of that are beyond use. There is a generous stock of it that we were able to retrieve from buildings that we planned perhaps to rebuild should the need arise or time allow. For the moment, they are stocked, and we have been using it to build weapons and the wagons that we have now. But we do have what we need to modify.
Oh, that's very good to hear. It's awesome.
Wood may also be pilfered from ships and boats that we will not be using if we go with magical means of conveyance.
Alright. Do we have to use troops, or do we need extra hands for tearing apart stuff to get the supply stuff, or...
We will need to march the troops through anyway, and I believe that if they're already carrying their own backpacks worth of supplies, adding another backpack to even only 500 of them should not make this difficult.
The need for bodies to dismantle the ships to use material for the wagons.
Depending on how much material we use, I would be prepared to ask you for soldiers to help with that. The carpenters themselves, we've got, nearly 24, so they are well stocked in number.
Okay. I just wasn't sure of the amount of manpower we had for that.
Well, with nearly 3,000 troops, and most of them coming from the non-soldier class of citizen of the various nations from which they hail, it was very likely that a not insignificant portion of the garrison here would have such useful skills.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense.
I had already had them begin work on this, which is why you did not have access to all 3,000 troops today. Though I suppose they weren't missed.
No, we were able to train up a lot of people. So the building of the stuff for the teleporting and the funds needed. Thought there was there one other thing that you had for me? Was it just those two? I can't. Forgive me with everything going on.
The supplies, the funds for the supplies, and the means of conveyance of those supplies once we are in Ebengard are the things that are of highest priority to me to secure for you at the moment. Is there another project you would wish me to work on? General?
No, I was just unsure if there was a third thing, but I think that was all I asked of you.
I will check my notes, and I will come back to you if it occurs to me that there is more to say.
If there isn't, just carry on with what you need. I will. I'll get back with you in the morning about the funds.
Very good. I was hoping to hear that perhaps Tatsuya had passed on whatever funding he was using to supply the army when he pass the torch to you?
We have some means to some funds. We just have to discuss. What me and the lieutenants will discuss how we want to go about it.
Might I suggest the way you go about it be to pay the people who need the money to give us what we need?
The vendor's not there, but you should remember that we did find a bunch of money in the bag.
I will be candid and say that we have, from our venturings, a decent amount of funds. It's just deciding on if I want to use all of my funds or if I was going to ask my lieutenants if they wanted to contribute at all before I use what I have.
He's going to lean in a little closer so he's less likely to be overheard by nearby tables, and he's going to ask, "May I be frank with you, General?"
Sure, go ahead.
It concerns me that whatever funding the General Tatsuya had procured for the army, which I know he had gone to procure more from his patrons, did not come into your possession when he left. I can't imagine he would have a need of it outside of supplying the army, so you should have it, unless there is a problem.
No, I didn't go into. He didn't give me like a detailed list of everything I got given, so I don't know how much is there unless I haven't gone through it yet.
He's going to, shake his head and begin to straighten up a little. He's going to say, "Dragonborn are always so cavalier about these things. I can go through whatever he has left behind and catalog it for you. That way I can present you a nice tabulated list in the morning. Would that be of use to you, General?"
Out of character. He's saying stuff that was left here, not that's what I'm thinking. There was funds and stuff left here, or he actually means stuff given to me.
He means that the General has a room here and he's going to go through it.
Oh! I didn't think about that.
Because...
How do I want to address that, though? Do I want to just say it as I knew what he was going for? Yeah, screw it. I'm going to do that. I'm yes, if you would, so back in the character, if you would do that, I would much appreciate it.
There's just the slightest pause, and you can see something passing behind his eyes before he says, "Very good, General. I shall be upstairs if you need me."
Yeah, and also I feel with you doing it to yourself, you will know exactly what you need, or if you need more, you know what you would want to ask of me.
It shall be a very comprehensive list, General.
Well, thank you very much for everything you've done so far, and keep up the good work.
It is my duty, General. I shall do so.
Yeah, I didn't click. I thought he was talking out of character. I'm talking to her. I thought he was talking about stuff he physically gave me.
Well, I will
and I didn't want to tell him
you.
that. I'm trying not to spoil our thing, saying yeah, we killed the fucker, and I didn't take all the loot off his body.
I mean, yeah, he quote unquote gave us stuff unwillingly.
So I will say the way that
the army, we have that funding.
I will say the way that I think we had determined when we were discussing before about how these things tended to go was probably we did not talk to him. Bahamut would have, informed you, be here at this time, and here was here, and this time was when we showed up.
That's what I
it is reasonable for us to not have had a tete-a-tete with Tatsuya to figure out about where he kept everything.
But that's the thing I was trying to be careful of when I was talking to him. Because I didn't want to say, Yeah, we killed him. He didn't have time to tell me what he had or the stuff I got off his body.
I mean, no, it would not have made sense to say that to him, but you are aware because it was discussed over the... You had chosen not to be on the bond. It had been discussed on the bond in the mansion what was found in the bag that was collected from Tatsuya after the devils left.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. Like, actually, physically. I think I might have passed. Oh.
It was a shitload of gold bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember the exact amount. Was it 500 or was it 50?
It was 30 gold bars.
30. So I was super wrong, but 30. Still, shitload of gold.
Yeah, I was out.
Thought 500 was just...
Super convenient that he calculated that you would need 1,500 gold pieces to
Yeah.
supply yourselves.
So-
Wild how that number came up. Can't imagine.
That was my other problem was I think I was pretty tired that day and I might have fell asleep at the very end of the session.
Well, your character is aware that you have that, and he's going to go rummaging through Tatsuya's old room. Who knows what he'll find, since you guys never rummaged through that room.
Ooh.
Yeah, it might not be the best. I'm not there.
Now that I think about it, yeah, wait, Kristen, would I know, like, are people, like, as world knowledge, people can kind of tell magic items, and I'm thinking this guy's intelligent enough, I feel, unless you want to roll for it, I feel this guy would be intelligent enough to see, that's a magic item, I probably shouldn't mess with it, just write it down.
Some magic items very much look magic. Some magic items don't really look magic. So, like, Leah's pendant to poison protection. It looks magic because it has a green glow to it whenever it's exposed to poison. But outside of being exposed to poison, it looks like a mundane item. Just a weird skull pendant.
Right. I got it. Alright, so I'm going to quickly look at... crap. Wait, was this...
I look at Simulator Mendes.
Oh, no, I'm debating on, like, what we just said was... What we just said was in-game, like, character.
I think a lot of that was making sure that all of the players are on the same page about what characters know. Right?
Well, I'm trying to do storytelling and make sure I'm not too much meta and be like, so saying this would be actual knowledge. Yukikaze is going to be like, you'll see him stop eating and kind of holding his fork up to his mouth with a piece of meat on the fork and being like, looking like he's thinking about something. Crap. And I'll say that like crap. There might be things that he shouldn't touch in that room, probably.
It is possible. I think over the bond, Lermendus will say, I would imagine that anything truly incriminating would not be left in a place where somebody else might sneak in and take it. But since he had a bag of holding, especially, but it is entirely possible. That
Should we real quick,
is
bro?
there.
Larry Mendes or Leah, do you want to go? Do you guys have a slot left for detect magic? Do you have the ability to cast detect magic?
It would take me time, since when I swapped around my spells, I did not prepare it as a spell, so it's a ritual.
Leah, do you happen to have the access to detect magic?
I don't think... Tristan, I don't think so.
Yeah.
You got rid of that invocation?
Oh, did you change your invocation?
What
You had an invocation that let you detect magic at will.
Oh, yeah, that I do. Sorry, I have kind of blacked out or didn't realize what magic we were talking about.
Yeah, just detect magic spell.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Would
Leah,
you like the two of us to go and assist? Larmetta says his name. I can't remember what he doesn't call him coffers.
He doesn't. It's Rialanthes.
Okay.
Rialanthes.
Like Sam would call him coffers in a heartbeat. Larmendus does not.
Captain Fess.
I will go up with you also. I just want you guys to quickly give a quick detect to make sure there's nothing to worry about. So if one or both of you will accompany me, I'd appreciate it.
If there is any magic, I think I have a better chance of determining what it does than Leah, so I think I should go as well.
Okay. If you two would accompany, I'd appreciate it. And then we'll come back down here and finish our meal. Alright. So
Larmendus will, over the bond, say, not everything incriminating is going to be magic.
that's true. That's
Nor
true.
anything magic is going to be incriminating.
If you would...
He who wanders around in darkness with a stick is blind.
You wanna know what? I think I'll just go. I'll get up, Tristan, and I'll say. I think I should probably just go through his stuff.
Would you like our assistance for anything magical that you find?
If you want, yes, but I think I'm just gonna kick him out of the room and look through it and take care of it. And I will quickly finish what's on my plate and get up.
I think Larmendus would go to at least determine if there's any magic, and if there is, what it does.
I see. Okay. I'm just quickly throwing that room together. Need a bed.
Do we want to end on that? Unless you think it would
sure. We can make that a fun scene of its own.
Larmendus didn't.
Well,
have a
I just
chance
feel-
to talk to Ruby.
I just feel it's going to be an interesting dialogue to be talking to him about, hey, I think we'll just go through it. And I got to think of some reason why I don't want him to go through it versus me going through it.
Uh-huh.
So I gotta think of how.
I mean, he has his other duties to attend to. So
that's a fair point. So I just want to think about. I want to use it to have time for me to not be tired and think of a good way to dialogue it.
Mm-hmm.
If that's acceptable.
I think it's fine. It's only 5 minutes ahead of time.
Oh yeah, we have a long break too.
That's true. We do have a long break, which is very sad to me.
So you said we're not getting together next week?
I believe that 2 people are out next week that are not Derek, so yeah. Because we will once again not have Thomas and Elisa's missing next week.
And the following
week, I'm not sure of. I've heard some rumblings that there might be people missing, so we'll find out. But right now, I'm hopeful that we will meet the following week. I'm just aware that something could come up, or I could be wrong about something.
I should be able to have
that's Thanksgiving
knowledge about that soon.
Yeah, it was you. That's right.
We'll probably find out tomorrow.
Okay.
It's likely that I will be around on the 21st.
Okay.
But it's possible. The 28th is much more. Like, I would be shocked if I was not for the 28th. But
all right.
Yeah, 28th after Thanksgiving is not so bad. Before, because if you have family, depending on when family comes in, so I find that reasonable.
All right. So you 3 are going to head upstairs to find Tatsuya's room. Does that mean that Raiken is staying at the table to eat with the simulacra who don't eat?
Or just Tristan, I want them.
No.
fascinated. I want them to be fascinated by him eating.
No, Raiken's going with them. He's not.
Okay, cool. So the
It's
two
his brother's
simulacra who
room.
don't eat are staying at the table alone.
If Raiken is coming with us, Laramendus is going to tell both of the simulacrum to go. Probably
Send
to go
them
into
to
the
our room.
mansion
Yeah, there you go.
Go in the
and
mansion
see if
and help
Vendar
Vendar
needs
with his
any
soup.
assistance.
Wait. Do constructs count as people that have to be okay to go in the mansion? Just
That's,
They're not
question for-
creatures; they're objects.
oh, that's true.
Plus, they were generated in the mansion, so I believe that would, even if they were creatures, that would give them the ability to go back and forth at will.
That seems reasonable.
And with
I
that,
forgot about that.
I really
you
wanted them
wanna-
to just sit at the table and chat as Simulacra, just like, I guess all the real people are gone.
They're
All
just like,
that's left.
so, existence.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, they're all assholes.
It's like we don't even really exist to them. That's what existence is. It's not existing to these people.
all right.
Hey, do this thing. Hey, stop existing. Hey, real quick.
They didn't even ask if I wanted any food. I would have said no, but like it would have been nice to have been asked.
Yeah, I offered one candy.
Cyrus is like, Ruby asked me.
I hope I did okay role playing. I'm gonna head to bed. I'm super tired. Talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye, Mal.
My,
I
I think like that happened, like that, like the Ruby asked me like happens as we're like getting ready to go upstairs, and Lerman is like, Simulacrum Lerman is like, actually, you know what? And then goes over to Ruby and says, "Thank you for your hospitality. It is appreciated."
Always a pleasure. Alright, I will end the stream. We'll pick it up there. And we can continue joking off stream. Bye, stream!
Goodbye.